Hi everyone! Today's video is all about Midnight Oud from Juliette Has a Gun. I have talked about this fragrance on and off for a few months, I think, and I actually never owned it. I would just go into Sephora and spray it on and then walk out. And then one time I was traveling and I went into a Sephora and I didn't see it there, and that was weird. And then I went into the Sephora that's close to my house and I noticed it wasn't there either. So either they are discontinuing this or they're not going to be carrying it in Sephora stores, but you can still get it online. And I thought to myself, well, before they discontinue it and before I can't get it anymore, I want my bottle of it. This is the only size this bottle comes in. This is a 100 ml. I think it's a 100 ml. And it's an eau de parfum concentration, so it is quite strong, quite intense, and very, very long lasting. So, Midnight Oud. I can kind of understand why they're getting rid of it. Juliette Has a Gun is a brand that was launched in 2005. The founder of this brand is Romano Ricci, who is the great-grandson of Nina Ricci, who's a fashion designer, and he's the grandson of Romano Ricci, who created L'air du Temps. So if you're familiar with L'air du Temps or you're familiar with Nina Ricci, you know that this is a very fashionable family, and that is his heritage. So it's kind of not surprising that he decided to launch his own line of perfumes. When this line launched, it was supposed to be centered around just the rose note. So they had a fresh rose, they had a fruity rose, they had a deep dark rose, and they had 5 or 6 scents that were all centered around the rose. As time went on, I guess they decided that wasn't sustainable, and they wanted to add other notes in their fragrance collection. And so they really, in the past few years, have started launching scents that are more mainstream. So pear is really big right now. They have a pear fragrance. There was a time when soapy skin kind of scents were in, so they have Not a Perfume, which just focuses on one molecule. And then they have Not a Perfume Superdose. They've had a vanilla scent. They've had a Moscow Mule scent. So they have, branched out of that rose theme, and I don't think they even have that in their copy anymore, that they were supposed to be centered around the rose. But that is what made me fall in love with the scents in the first place, because I love rose fragrances, and Lady Vengeance was the first one that I owned, and it's a pretty typical but very intense rose patchouli fragrance. So if you get a chance to smell that, they do still have that in stores. I highly recommend checking that out. It's one of my favorites. Midnight Oud is, like I said, it's understandable that they might be getting rid of it because oud is a more complex, and it's a more complex note, and it's kind of one of those notes that's an acquired taste. It can be quite animalic, quite intense, and it definitely makes a presence in Midnight Oud. Okay, Midnight Oud is actually an oud rose blend. So I think this was launched in 2009, and 2008, 2009 is kind of when oud started being more mainstream in North American fragrance. Even Jo Malone launched some oud scents at that time, which is fairly unusual for Jo Malone because that brand's DNA is more floral, in the floral category, but they launched oud, and Juliette Has a Gun launched Midnight Oud. So this is oud and rose. And the first time I sprayed this, I was actually not in love with it. I thought it was, pretty off-putting because the opening of this opens with a camphorous kind of oud. So it is a little bit minty and fresh and pungent to the nose right away. And I had already sprayed it on my skin, so I was kind of stuck with it. I couldn't just walk away from it. And I noticed that as it dried down, it turned into more of a rose patchouli kind of a scent. And again, I've said that I already like that. And the rose in this is a deep, dark, voluptuous rose. It is so romantic. It is so pretty, and that is what brings to mind the midnight in the name of this scent. I don't know if the oud is really a midnight kind of oud, but the rose is definitely a midnight rose. So you get that camphorous opening, you get a rose in the middle, and then you get patchouli in the dry down. And the oud that was really fresh at the beginning turns into a very animalic kind of oud that stays in the background and really lasts throughout this whole scent. So I feel like you kind of have to be accustomed to that note of oud. You have to already enjoy it and like it to appreciate it in this scent. And if you're not someone that likes oud, you might not like this, right? This is really something that's an acquired taste. I think if you like rose fragrances, definitely try it and smell it and see how it does for you. But if you know for sure that you don't like oud, then this might not be the way to go, because that woody oud really is present throughout this whole scent. And like I said, for me, this is so intense. It is really romantic. It's very self-assured, and I really enjoy it for that. I don't wear this if I want to blend in or if I want to be soothed. I wear this when I'm already feeling very energetic and I know that I have a lot to give, and I wear this when I want a fragrance that matches that mood. I want something that can kind of meet me and be very intense and very, very present, and that's what this is. If that sounds interesting to you, try to find a sample of it, of course, before you splurge on the whole bottle. Like I said, I wore this for a long time, and then when I thought it was being discontinued, I decided that I wanted to own it. And yeah, I'm glad I have it. I've worn it lots since I got it. So that's the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.